Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Guagua and Blade, taking place here on Tide Hunters version 1.2. Blade spawning as, well, the teal human player on the bottom right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Tide Hunters, opposite side, the swimming turtle of Turtle Rock, spawning over here on the top left-hand side of the map. Let's go ahead and get to that 2-minute mark, or at least a 1-minute 30-second, where we can start to see the strategies and the layout of these oncoming bases and try to make some predictions. Altar of Kings and Altar of Storms both placed down relatively on time, none of them being sped built by the human side, so it is going to be an Archmage going up against a Farseer with most likely Headhunters. Headhunter, Farseer, very powerful, piercing damage, not quite what it used to be with the change in that heavy armor, but overall still very, very effective. As it
forces are
as
under
it
attack.
tries to, players still trying to find a way to balance out the game. All right, so Sea Giant here. Does this Sea Giant spin? All right, so that Sea Giant sometimes has an attack where it spins around and deals AOE damage in a circle, similar to Cleave. I didn't see it there this time around as the Archmage picks up a Ring of Protection +3. I am surprised that that Water Elemental is not getting auto attacks down, and the Archmage actually. What the heck is going on? It feels like Blade is walking with a unit formation on, and is he going to try and take down that water elemental? He will, and there's a bit of an issue there, so I don't know if Blade purposely was walking with unit formation on. It looks like he still is doing exactly that, and if you're wondering why the units look like they're walking kind of funny, yeah, when you have unit formation on, the Archmage, which is normally faster than everyone else, ends up trying to walk and stay behind those footmen, and well, because of that, ends up often trailing behind just a little. Farseer still chasing that Archmage. Archmage taking a little bit of a poke, and what is Blade's overall strategy to try and combat this? Alright, we're looking at a little bit of damage. Who's going to be able to get that last hit? It looks like the Farseer is going to try and get that last hit. Who's going to be able to get that last hit there? No, Archmage gets the last hit, gets to level 2, gets Brilliant Aura. The item, however, was picked up by Guagua. So, Guagua against Blade, both sides still fighting. Blade still taking this opportunity to try and go after this Snarecaster, knowing that LQ, that Guagua is right behind him. So that's an experience, I believe, Farseer, I do not believe, got that here. We're still looking at the Headhunters, getting in a decent amount of poke. Beautiful deny once again. However, this footman will get picked off by that Headhunter there. Little bit of an exchange going back and forth. Farseer could get to level 2 here in just a moment if it tried to clear out to this creep camp. It does not look like it is trying to do that, as the Archmage, well, with 9 armor this early in the game,
a player's forces are
text
under
the tier 2, and we will be waiting for additional heroes. How can I help you? No, well, so right. Alright. So apparently I am parenting this morning. Back to school. Nearly kids nearly going back to school already. I know it feels early. I mean, we're like in early August, but things have changed. Back in my day, school, it started in September and ended in June, but because of high schools wanting to perform better on AP tests, schools generally started rolling the school dates earlier and earlier in order to have more time to prepare for AP tests. And as soon as one school did that and they saw that, hey, giving students more time to prepare and study for a test means that they do better for a test if they actually try to study, and it improved test scores. And as it in a way to improve test scores more and more, we are now starting school well, very early, second week of August. Anyways, coming back around, Blade continuing to clear out some creep camps here. We are seeing a couple of riflemen purposely staying inside the base. Mountain King about to make its way out. Farseer is sitting at level 3 as well, so dual level 3 heroes. And we do see the Tauren Chieftain out here as the Archmage could have a little bit of a bad day. Has to be careful. There goes an ensnare. Little bit of damage. Tauren Chieftain, Endurance Aura moving across the map quickly again. Alright, so one viewer here on Twitch. Thank you for watching. Apparently, stopping Twitch for just like 2 weeks really moved you down on the totem pole of everything. So, yep. Not a full-time streamer, so when it's trying to tell me to hit these streaming milestones, no, I can't do 4 streams within a week. That's just not how I do things. Anyways, Mountain King out here on the battlefield already. There's going to be a Stormbolt onto that Direwolf, quickly taken out, and the Priest, now having to pretty much heal everyone, needs to get more Priest joining in on this party here. There is second Priest now getting added up. That Priest is going to try and keep that Mountain King topped off as that Mountain King picks up a Wound Bracers. Alright, so Wound Bracers should protect against any Stomp and any Shockwaves. More Priests are showing up here. Rifleman should be able to easily focus down a Dire Wolf, and there it goes, gets taken down. Meanwhile, the Water Elemental still tanking a decent amount of damage. Mountain King getting dangerously close to level 3. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain is currently sitting at level 2, but is also going to be trying to defend this expansion off to the north. Tauren Chieftain looking to clear out this, level 4, level 3 creep camp, or what remains of it. Should be just shy of level 3, but we know how powerful, Shockwave and or Stomp can be onto that Tauren Chieftain, especially against the back line units, or against the with that Tauren Chieftain Stomp and a Lightning Shield if we do see a couple of Shamans as well. Farseer having plenty of attack bonus there. Is that plus 13? Yes. Dual Claws of Attack plus 5. And that Mantle of Intelligence. Essentially, that Farseer hitting 1 foot in harder as we see a Stomp now go down. Alright, so there's that Stomp, there's that stun. Tauren Chieftain has an Invul Potion and a Potion of Greater Healing. I don't see any Lightning Shield. There's another Stomp right there. So, Clap versus Stomp right now. Chain Lightning bouncing around again. Who's going to get the experience off of that Null Overseer? Mountain King is going to try to get the Stomp there. I believe the Tauren Chieftain got the item. Maybe the Archmage. Difficult to keep track as we see another third Stomp by that Tauren Chieftain. Alright, so clearly the big Stomp. There's another big Thunderclap right there, but not enough mana to, continue. No slow. The Grunt now retreating back, 48 supply compared to 50. And, the reinforcements, the casters, they may actually, path the wrong way into the wrong position as a Kodo Beast, trying to back away here again. Alright, a new Rifleman shows up to the party, and are we going to see a Rifleman turn back around? There's a Priest back out onto the battlefield. Rifleman now trying to dance away a little bit again. So units are still pulling back. Mountain King needs to get enough mana for another Thunderclap. Archmage nowhere near level 4 yet, but we are extremely close and dangerous in terms of hero hit points. Tauren Chieftain could have easily been picked off as the Mountain King did have a Stormbolt and a Bullet ready as the Archmage. Look at this Grunt. Stormbolt, gift-wrapped Grunt right there as the Grunt, losing a little bit in pathing. Now, I don't have to remind you, Guagua does have this expo off to the north. That is fair with an Orc Burrow. I don't see reinforced defenses. That is going to be a bit of a shocker as the Riflemen are going to be able to easily take down this Orc Burrow in pretty much seconds here. There's going to be some repairs, but no, the Priest and all of these units should be able to take this down. Mountain King trying to line up in position, and that is a lot of armor on that Mountain King. So yeah, nearly 15 armor on that Mountain King. That's the reason why he's able to be in that front line spot and also constantly just land those Thunderclaps. All right, there's that Thunderclap right there. There's that massive slow. Mountain King getting gift wrapped though by an incoming Raider. Needs to get healed up a little bit more. Mountain King perhaps overthinking that he could survive there as the Archmage is just shy of level 4. Alright, there's another Stomp. Mountain King could be in trouble. The Scroll of Healing keeps him alive. We're still seeing more healing across all of these units as the lines are starting to fall. Tauren Chieftain does have a potion of mana, so we could see another stomp there. There's level 4 now on the Mountain King. There's that stomp. Mountain King trying to shake off that stun. Is he going to do another thunderclap of his own? He should be. He has 105 mana as the units are still trying to chase away, trying to ensure some still kills. There's that thunderclap there. Grunt going to get taken down. Headhunters still trying to retreat back every which way. There goes another rifleman. There's a slow, and we're going to be looking at, well, wow, that low hit point hunter. Headhunter still able to get away somehow, as we're looking at another headhunter able to get away. Guagua able to constantly save low hit point units. Mountain King getting a little bit more mana again, does have enough for a Stormbolt as the rifleman getting taken down. Meanwhile, Headhunter coming in from behind, able to pick off a couple of these casters that have no armor or are unarmored for some bonus damage as well. Those two Headhunters who were dangerously low. So beautiful micro coming across from Guagua here to save while splitting up his units, as we're looking at another Raider about to get taken down. All right, there's a stomp there. That's a dangerous stomp. Raider down to 10 hit points. We're going to be looking perhaps at another thunderclap. There goes a scroll of speed. And, well, the Mountain King wants to get some... Oh, was that a Wand of Mana Stealing? The Mountain King had enough mana, so Wand of Mana Stealing perhaps Tauren Chieftain now back up to level 4. And Blade has just not been using his mana well on his Mountain King. He had plenty of opportunities. He was looking for the perfect opportunity. And in this instance, finding the perfect opportunity got in the way of a great opportunity, and the opportunity was lost. 43 supply compared to 48. Mountain King now, well, still sitting on a large amount of mana, nearly 16 mana. Archmage gonna try to aggro this creep here, do a little bit more creeping. 4 nearly, or 4.5 on both the human heroes. Meanwhile, 4.5 and 4 for the Tauren Chieftain. So it is going to be a big deal whoever gets to level 5 first. Archmage will most likely be going for Brilliance or a level 3 first, while the Mountain King will most likely be going for Thunderclap level 3 first, as the Mountain King picks up a Health Stone. Alright, some survivability items are needed here, trying to finish off these snare casters. Archmage gonna go after... Archmage already aggroing, perhaps gonna try to go after the Gargantuan Sea Turtle down to the south. But is there enough time here to actually clear out this creep camp before the Red Army moves in? Farseer items, Tauren Chieftain, Invul Potion of Mana. That is going to be, well, helpful. Meanwhile, Mountain King, oh, there's a Wand, dropping the Ring of Protection +3, getting a Wand of Mana Stealing, so perhaps he can return the favor as the Mountain King gets to level 5. All right, another picking up that Ring of Protection +3, setting up the Expo. And now we're looking at an Arcane Sanctum, one of them about to get taken down. Arcane Tower trying to feed back a little bit here. Archmage going to try and engage. Mountain King did go for that level 3 Thunderclap. Remember, level 3 Thunderclap is a much wider circle, and now the Scroll of Speed already being used. All right, there's a couple of disenchants. There's a stun, and what, Chain Lightning bouncing around. Mountain King going to come across. There's another Thunderclap again. Scroll of Healing trying to counteract. Archmage, well, turning back around, we should see that Mountain King doesn't have Boots of Speed. Are we going to see perhaps a Wand of Mana Stealing, try to steal a little bit some? There's another Thunderclap right there. So all of these units are just so slowed right now that the units are just trying to retreat back. I see another Thunderclap. There you go. And just clap after clap after clap. I haven't seen so many slow claps since a golf tournament, as the Mountain King now makes its way back over. There's another Thunderclap again. Wand of Mana Stealing, both charges already used, down to 110 mana as the Archmage still pulling back away. Mountain King, there's another Thunderclap again, as we're still looking at more and more grunts getting taken out. Look at all of these units not able to, well, train up. No, this is not live. Always from replays, sorry. Mountain King coming back through. Big thunderclaps coming down. Archmage could be in a little bit of trouble. Guagua was just over, perhaps just trying to chase Blade a little bit too long. And this time around, it looks like Blade is going to be able to be the one to come out on top. Stormbolt onto the Farseer. Farseer going to get taken down. Archmage now at level 5. That's going to be, oh no, goes for level 3 Water Elementals. I was not expecting the level 3 Water Elementals. I was totally expecting level 3 Brilliance Aura for more mana onto that Mountain King. Instead, that is not going to be the case here. We're going to be looking at some damage going down across the grunts now. Another grunt could get taken out. Archmage with that fast movement speed. Mountain King perhaps going to try to get in front of the Headhunter here. Could take it down. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? You have Stormbolt onto the Headhunter, and this is another 5 supply lost. Archmage, last final hit there. Oh, well, no, wow. All right, so Archmage, without Boots of Speed, having a difficult time. That Grunt is going to fall onto some of those creeps instead, as the Mountain King looks to pick up some additional tomes, get some additional gold for Blade. Southern side of the map, Blade, full expo here. North side of the map, full expo as well. And are we going to see a potential creepjack? No, Raiders are going to try to raid down this base here. I don't know if there's pillage. Are we going to actually be seeing pillage here? That is the question. No, it is. Oh no, there is pillage. All right, so it is going up by more than 7 at a time. There's a beautiful shockwave, and now Guagua perhaps going to start doing the hit and run tactics that are so nasty with Scroll of Town Portal and Raiders going after buildings, getting in a couple of swipes, taking down a couple of buildings, getting some of that gold back, and then rinsing and repeating. All right, meanwhile, Farseer waiting to get back out onto the battlefield, about to make its way there. And, ow. Thank you for laughing at the golf tournament joke, chat. Sometimes I don't know if the actual joke is how it's going to hit. So, important right there. Grunt, well, Scroll of Speed able to reach back again. Coming back through Tauren Chieftain, Farseer. The fact that they are both level 4 may actually come as a bit of a help for Guagua, as it gives them more of an incentive to try and clear out creep caps. Alright, yeah, Tauren Chieftain, Farseer right there, will end up maxing out at level 5. This is a situation where Blade wants to engage against his opponent, because he knows that he can gain experience. And then perhaps, even if he does lose units, he comes across a situation where his opponent can no longer easily creep out creep camps for experience either. Now, that Mountain King, low on mana again. Remember, Blade opted to go for level 3 water elementals, not level 3 Brilliant Aura, meaning that Mountain King is, currently only has enough mana for 1 more Thunderclap at this point in time.
A player's forces are under attack.
Rifleman finding himself on the wrong side of the battlefield and now inside the belly of a Kodo Beast. Slow Kodo Beast, slow units trying to retreat back here. And so far, LQQ or Guagua's maneuverability has really been the issue. Yes, slow has been applied to a couple of these targets as well, but at the same time, Blade has been losing units in transit as we see a Thunderclap go down. Wow, one massive Thunderclap right there. There's a Scroll of Speed used. There's going to be one down, another down, and you can see how important those Scroll of Speeds are. Now that you see slow and Thunderclaps though constantly being applied to these targets. Are we going to get some repairs? There's a shockwave going down. All of these units are attacking a little bit slower. That could have big ramifications. Raider's going to get taken down. Mountain King currently low on mana. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? There goes another shockwave. Repairs need to be added in. Tauren Chieftain now gets up to level 5, and this base will get taken down here. Farseer, able to back away. Mountain King gets up to level 6, but that's pretty much all for naught right now. Getting up to level 6 as the economic game has now flipped again. There's only 4 minutes of mining left from the main bases, 3 minutes here. A Kodo Beast slowly digesting a Rifleman back on the top left-hand corner. And this game has gone back and forth here on Tide Hunters with the changing of the tide. Yeah, the ebb and flow of this game, just like the tide here, and everything is based on the movement speed. Guagua's Great Hall suffering quite a bit of damage from the water elementals. the Great Hall, remember, as they're being built, have no armor and have no armor type, so they take full damage from all types of armor. As we're looking at it, some invisible riflemen now trying to make their rounds out as well. Shadow Wolves, take it back. We now have that that upgrade to be able to gain sight onto invisible units. And well, the Farseer and Tauren Chieftain both sitting at level 5, while that Mountain King is at level 6. Economic game is going to be incredibly important. The Water Elemental perhaps just gonna get slowly digested and fill the belly of that Kodo beast. Talk about being full, don't fill up on water. That's exactly what that Kodo beast did there. Alright, 56 or 57 over 62 supply. Chain Lightning, Shockwave now ripping through. Down goes a Priest there, Stormbolt onto a Raider. And I believe it was level 3 Stormbolt, level 3 Thunderclap. Mountain King still trying to go after our target, maybe able to go after a Raider here. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? Stormbolt takes down another Raider again. That Mountain King does have a potion of mana and may be able to get another Stormbolt off. But yes, the Mountain King also has Boots of Speed now. So this is all part of the plan to just try to get into position here. All right, Farseer perhaps going to try and regroup, get into a Goblin Zeppelin. No easy way to Stormbolt the Goblin Zeppelin there, as we do see slow. And is that Goblin Zeppelin going to get shot down? No, it is not. Not enough riflemen, even on that slowed Goblin Zeppelin. Expo here by Guagua getting repaired. The Goblin Zeppelin trying to make its way towards this location here. There's a reveal, and well, oh no, excuse me, those are the Arcane Sentry reveals. Remember, that's why they were lasting a little bit longer than the reveal simply from the laboratory. And there are still plenty of reveals to go. That's a lot of casters inside the base, actually. And kind of funny, as the Tauren Chieftain is still hanging around here by that wreckage. All right, Archmage does have a Scroll of Town Portal, can easily make its way back home. Goblin Zeppelin back here. We're going to be looking at, well, perhaps a bunch of dead casters if a Tauren Chieftain's Shockwave and a Lightning. All right, there we are. There's a Chain Lightning backing away. Oh, a bunch of dead peasants there just in a matter of seconds. Do we see a reveal? There's triple Arcane Sentries here. We could get a reveal. That could be big. But, why would you attack that? All right, that had to have been a total accident there. As the main base now suffering a little bit of problems. Where is the Mountain King and the rest of the army? Mountain King still hanging around in the back here. Has a potion of mana. Goblin Zeppelin finally unloaded as we're looking at base after base slowly getting taken down. All right, is Blade trying to get to level 6 off of Orc Burrows? This could be his strategy. I think he needs one more Orc Burrow after this, as the Goblin Zeppelin... Oh, Goblin Zeppelin down to 103. Do we see another reveal? There should be plenty of reveals. There's triple Arcane Towers right here. I believe that would have been enough. All of the casters were there. Archmage does get to level 6 off of that. There's a Scroll of Town Portal, well, to retreat all the way back. And there you are, army, able to head back home. A couple of casters did get felled there as well, as we see Guagua setting up another expo here. Mass teleport off to the north. There's a Thunderclap. So dual level 6 heroes really working their magic, trying to take down all of these buildings. And, well, Blade having the problem of trying to take down buildings with only casters and piercing damage and heroes. We're going to see a Thunderclap. There you are, another slow clap there. All of those peons pretty much taken out instantaneously, as the Great Hall suffering a great bit of damage. Archmage does have mass teleport, should be able to get out of here in just a second. Meanwhile, we see a Shockwave ripping on through. That is going to be a lot of damage onto all of these buildings, as the Farseer losing quite a bit of mana as well. In comes the Tauren Chieftain, Tauren Chieftain Shockwave. There goes down a bunch of buildings as well. What happened was, what building? Did it get canceled somehow? Not quite sure. Stormbolt onto the Kodo beast, and now we see a Thunderclap onto the, well, onto all of these units here, but it looks like the keep will end up getting taken down. All right, so that's going to be some major setback. No, the peasants trying to repair, trying to hold on to it, not able to do it at all. Are we going to see a Thunderclap? We're going to see a bunch of grunts perhaps trying to retreat back out. And, well, there they go. Blade is sitting on 1,200 gold here. Needs a lumber mill in order to collect lumber to build up a new town hall to then train up peasants. Guagua, however, also holding this expansion here at the 3 o'clock spot. Perhaps it is not spotted at all. That could be a big deal here. Oh, Thunderclap followed by Thunderclap and then death onto the Farseer. That could be a big deal here as the unit. Oh my gosh, I was waiting for a Thunderclap to take down the Raider and then perhaps also take down. There's a Stormbolt Thunderclap sniping down the Farseer. Archmage could be in trouble. He's going to be able to stay alive a little while longer. Also has an Invul Potion. There goes another Thunderclap there as the Archmage still has a potion of invulnerability and also has a Scroll of Healing, trying to break free from that Grunt. There goes another Raider there. Are we going to see another Thunderclap? Mountain King, Thunderclap, Archmage. What's going on here? Archmage trying to break free from that position. There's the Grunt here, and the Tauren Chieftain doesn't have enough mana. All right, Priest should really be trying to heal up here. There's a Stormbolt onto the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain is going to get taken down. That's level 7 now on the Mountain King. Both the Farseer and the Tauren Chieftain are down. One resurrecting, needing 70 more seconds. But this gold mine here is still mining away. 26 minutes. Meanwhile, there is no mining whatsoever by Blade, as Blade needs to get enough lumber to even begin mining again. All right, this is a secret base here by Guagua, and Blade must be wondering, how come my opponent has not yet thrown in the towel? What could he possibly have?
Player's forces are under siege.
And, well, what Guagua has is an economy, and, well, the Farseer and the Tauren Chieftain back out on the battlefield. All right, we're looking at a couple of Taurens back here as well, and the Mountain King going up against those Tauren. Are we going to perhaps see some Thunderclaps as the Goblin Shredder down to 185 hit points as well? All right, so Mountain King fighting back here, trying to take down unit after unit. A couple of casters. Are we going to see a slow? Nope. There's a mass teleport to teleport all the way back home. And now, are we going to see? We're going to see Stormbolt onto the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain should be able to get away though. Down to 38 hit points. Stormbolt and Thunderclap, both the level 3 variety, not enough as the Tauren Chieftain and the Farseer. Oh my gosh! This Rifleman could have actually shot against that Tauren Chieftain and perhaps taken him down. Taurens now making their way over to get in front of this Rifleman here, and well, this Rifleman perhaps just going to get pulverized instead.
A player's forces
Blade,
are under
Lin
attack.
Guagua, they're still wandering around here. I do not believe Blade knows where that expansion is. This expansion has been mining so much gold for so long, and that is going to be the secret resource game here as we're looking at Guagua trying to retreat back with that Tauren. Stormbolt onto the Tauren. That's going to get taken down easily. Archmage will get to level 7, and that's going to be an important level up as it gets to level 3 Brilliance Aura, or should. Yeah, there we are. Level 3 Brilliance Aura. More mana for that Mountain King. Yeah, pretty much going to have mana for days for Stormbolts and for Thunderclaps. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain, Goblin Zeppelin still riding around here. Arcane Towers trying to push back the other way. We know how powerful Tauren Chieftain can be in taking down buildings. Shockwave, especially powerful at taking down buildings here as the Farseer, and now Mass Teleport coming back around the other side. No more Arcane Towers. What's going to happen? Are we going to see a Stormbolt onto the Tauren Chieftain? No. And they're actually beautifully blocked in by the farms. A Shockwave and Chain Lightning taking down many of the casters. 36 supply compared to 22 now as the Riflemen trying to back up here. Make their way back over. There's a Chain Lightning bouncing around again. Tauren Chieftain does have an invulnerability potion and uses it. Perhaps it's going to needing to be elevated out of this tough spot here. There's one, there's the other, and now able to back away again. Meanwhile, Mountain King still being left behind, trying to go after this fortress, trying to take it down. We see additional buildings still getting set up. Guagua setting up a new base here as the Rifleman chasing after the Goblin Zeppelin. This Rifleman is going to spot this, and well, Blade is going to be having a Blade is just going to have his heart drop, knowing that that expansion has been operating there for so long. All right. Fortress about to get taken down here. Archmage, mass teleport only is useful when you have a massive army. And, well, we saw what that chain lightning shockwave did to those casters moments ago. All right, Mountain King still trying to go after perhaps some of these targets here. Another peon going to get taken down. A couple of peons inside that orc burrow as the Farseer comes in with Earthquake taking down buildings. There's a shockwave there. Are we going to see a chain lightning? No. Oh, wow. If the Farseer was able to get a chain lightning off onto all of these casters, that could have been the nasty 1-2 punch that we needed to see. Meanwhile, the Farseer, I look like they, well, the Spirit Wolves are going to get dropped in once again. And Blade is just sitting in the base right now, trying to protect. Are we going to see a couple of dispels here? No reveals any longer. And that is a big problem. No reveals. And what is this Farseer going to do? Farseer is just hanging back here saying, you know what? Can you really defend here? We're going to get a couple of repairs onto this Goblin Zeppelin. I have 2 of them, in fact. One Goblin Zeppelin about to get taken down. Tauren Chieftain about to finish off. Wait, what's going on here? Chain Lightning bouncing around. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 5, trying to finish off some more units. One Goblin Zeppelin repairs still underway here. Meanwhile, the heroes are trying to finish things off. Farseer, the Goblin Zeppelin taking quite a bit of damage. There's a couple of dispels, and once more, the Water Elemental does take down one of those Goblin Zeppelins. Shockwave ripping on through. Tauren Chieftain trying to finish things off. Takes down one priest, takes down another. Still shy of level 6, and now, what is that? Teleport. Mountain King teleporting inbound with that Staff of Teleportation. There's a Squirrel. Oh, Squirrel Town Portal. Is it going to be able to? No, Thunderclap. Tauren Chieftain falls at the on the cusp of level 6. Blade now coming back the other way. Stormbolts finishes off the Farseer, and Blade did not let this game get away. It looked like Guagua perhaps could have enough to fight back here. All of that pressure as the Goblin Zeppelin now looking to back up again. Do we no Altar of Storms, so any resurrection will have to happen at the tavern. Guagua is mining off of 1 base still at this time, and this base needs to get taken down. Meanwhile, wolves are taking down more farms here and here. So if we do see a resurrection, yeah, no, there's not going to be a resurrection at the tavern. Not going to be possible. Mountain King just needs to plant himself right here. Archmage just needs to run around, and with the casters, that should be more than enough, as the timed summons would be coming to an end. My daughter just turned on one of my lights for me because she noticed that it wasn't on. Like, oh, what is that? Okay, thank you. All right, here are the final scores.